Hello, my name is Brian Hodgkinson, and this is my presentation of my midterm project for CIS 9467. For my topic, I chose to evaluate college rankings data, specifically Kiplinger's best college values of 2017. I chose the topic of college evaluation because it's a process that most people will go through at least once in their lives. I personally have gone through the process twice for undergraduate and graduate schooling, and lots of other adults will revisit the process as they continue their education and pursue more advanced degrees. This topic interests me in that all prospective students come from different situations and have their own unique goals they want to achieve. Some have unlimited budgets to spend on tuition, while others must work a job while attending school to fund their education. Some take the opportunity to experience a different part of the country, while others have family obligations and responsibilities that place geographical restrictions on where they attend. College degree seekers have many options when it comes to furthering their education and must consider many factors. Program, cost, location, and reputation are all things that impact a college decision. With thousands of colleges and universities in the United States alone, prospective students and their parents or families have tons of information to digest in order to make an informed decision. Kiplinger is a Washington, D.C. based publisher of business forecasts and personal finance advice. At the end of each year, Kiplinger creates a list of the best undergraduate college values. The publisher looks at factors such as competitiveness, graduation rates, academic support, cost and financial aid, student indebtedness, and a salary measure to evaluate schools and decide their rankings. 4 lists of rankings are ultimately compiled: the top 100 private universities, top 100 liberal arts colleges, top 100 public colleges, and top 300 colleges, a combined ranking of the 3 lists. So my data consists of the 4 rankings lists, and the columns of data are the same for all 4. So I'm showing the top 300 rankings in this presentation as it encompasses all the data. So here you can see the rank, the name, the type of college or university, some geographical data, the admittance rate, the 4-year graduation rate, financial measures including total cost per year. There's some financial aid information, the average debt at graduation, a salary yardstick, which is a measure of what a graduate is making, an average graduate is making 10 years after starting at the college or university. And then I have a return measure that I created on my own for one of my dashboards, and I took the salary yardstick column and subtracted the yearly tuition to just find this measure that I call return. So I've chosen to focus on 3 general areas for my analysis, first being type and location, the second financials, and the third admission and graduation statistics. And the majority of my analysis was conducted with pivot tables. Some pivots are directly in on my dashboards, while others are what my charts are based on. My pivot tab has all the pivot tables I created from my charts that, it's the backup data. The pivot tables include some grouping. So this table right here, I utilized grouping. And calculated fields are also in some of my pivots that I used in my data analysis. So now we can get into my dashboards. My first dashboard is type and location of Kiplinger's best value colleges. So my first chart in this dashboard is a 3D pie chart showing the top 100 colleges by type. So this one right here. Half of the top 100 colleges are liberal arts colleges, 32 are private, and 18 are public colleges. And I utilized data callouts for the labels in this chart. My second chart is a column chart showing the top 300 colleges by region. So the South had the most colleges in the top 300, followed by the Northeast. And I further showed the type of colleges in the top 300 for each region, so the legend's right here. The South had many public colleges in the top 300, they had 46. While the Northeast had a pretty even split of private and liberal arts colleges in the top 300. So it's 36 private and 35 liberal arts. My third chart is a bar chart showing the top 10 states with the most colleges ranked in the top 300. And I again showed the types of colleges within the bar chart for each state. New York had the most with 32. Indiana, Illinois, and North Carolina tied for 8th with 10 apiece. So then from this chart, I used Bing Maps to show the top 10 states, and the circles indicate states in the top 10. The larger circles indicate a higher ranking in the top 10, and the smaller a lower. So you can see New York, California, Pennsylvania have a little bit larger circles, while Indiana, Illinois, and North Carolina have smaller circles. My second dashboard is a financial analysis of Kiplinger's best value colleges. And for my financial analysis, I wanted to show an easy way to search for and compare colleges by region, state, and type. So I created 2 pivot tables and applied filtering options for the 3 categories. My two pivot tables show the highest and lowest yearly costs for colleges in the top 300, and I applied formatting to the pivot tables to only display the top 10 values in each and display either descending or ascending order depending on which pivot table it was. When the filters are updated to display different data, the formatting is still applied. So you can see in my top 10 highest cost, I don't have any of the filters chosen. So these are just the top 10 highest costs of all the colleges and universities in the top 300. For my top 10 lowest cost pivot, I do have some filtering applied. So the regions Northeast, states New York, and type is public. So these are the top 10 lowest cost public New York colleges right here. For the two charts in my financial analysis, I use slicers to filter my data. In the bar chart here, it shows the top 10 college price ranges in increments of 10,000. And with the slicer that I applied, you can filter on one or more ranges. I also have a second slicer, so its total cost per year is one, and then type is another one. And this is linked to the first slicer. So when I update the second slicer, it allows me to further filter by college type. So right now I have all three types selected. But if I only want to see private, I can deselect liberal arts and public, and it'll update the total cost per year stats, and that's reflected in the bar chart. The column chart shows the average cost of top-ranked colleges broken out into ranges of 25. So I have 1 to 25, 26 to 50, and so on. The average cost of that range of 25 is displayed above each column. So I have the average cost right there. And the two slicers applied to this chart allow you to filter by region or state and are also linked to each other. So right now I have the South and the Northeast selected. So only the states in the South or Northeast are shown is selected on the slicer, and that information is displayed in the average cost of top-ranked colleges column chart. So my third and final dashboard, I have admission and graduation statistics of Kiplinger's best value colleges. This dashboard utilizes some of the same methods of analysis I previously used, and I again created two charts with slicers to filter admission and graduation statistics. The bar chart shows the percentage of admission rates for the top 300 colleges. So you can see that there's 12 colleges in the top 300 that admit 10% or less of applicants, and 5 colleges in the top 300 admit more than 90%. Similar to the previous chart I showed, I have my slicers set up for in the region and state format. So when I filter down on only one region, so the South, for example, it updates so only the states that are considered in the South region show in the slicer and on the bar chart. I create so the column chart shows the 4-year graduation rates for the top 300 colleges. While only one college has a 4-year graduation rate of over 90%, right here, 75 colleges have a rate of 81 to 90%, and this is the highest 10% range in the data set. And then again, I have the region and state slicers formatted, so if I can just filter on one region, so the West, for example, it's only going to show states in the West. So down here, I created a pivot table to display tuition versus salary data, and the salary figure is the average earnings of graduates 10 years after starting at the college. I took the difference of the 10 years at salary in yearly tuition and labeled this calculated field salary return. And I displayed the top 15 colleges by return, sorted by highest return, and also included the Kiplinger ranking in the table for reference. So if you look at this data, it's found interesting that only 2 of the top 10 ranked colleges are in the top 15. So you have Harvard and Princeton, while 4 outside of the top 100 have top 15 returns. So Georgia Tech, University of Wisconsin-La Crosse, Virginia Polytechnic Institute, and Baruch College. There are also filters available to further analyze the data if you wanted to do that. My last chart is a 3D pie chart that shows average debt after graduation, right here. I used ranges of 50 for my data buckets. The 1 to 50 range had the least debt, while the 251 to 300 range had the most debt. This is consistent with the best value approach. And regardless of the rank, students appear to be leaving school with some debt if they attend any of the colleges in the top 300. So to conclude, I attempted to conduct analysis through dashboards that make practical comparisons of factors prospective students would be interested in. Through my dashboards, I was able to highlight ideas I wanted to emphasize in a way that would not have been possible through standalone analysis of the raw data. Thank you.